Today we're going to be cooking our beautiful boneless pork shoulder in a slow braised ragu sauce. This is boneless. I wanted boneless because I wanted the pork to cook even faster. This is about 4 pounds of pork shoulder, and I went ahead and left some of the skin on, which is pretty much equivalent to fat, because I'm gonna honestly allow the fat to render, and we're gonna cook all of the veggies in the pork's oil, if that makes sense. To start the process, I'm gonna add some avocado oil. We're gonna start off with a good sprinkle of salt and ground black pepper. We're gonna be using basic ingredients when it comes to the seasoning. What I like to do is just pat it in to make sure it's stuck. Okay. I'm also gonna add some smoked paprika to give it a nice smoky element of flavor, and not to mention it's gonna help to contribute with the color as well during the searing process. Pat that on in. I'm gonna add some of my Cooking with Tammy all-purpose seasoning. All right, this is different from Lawry's all-purpose seasoning, no comparison. All right, this looks good so far. Check it out, beautiful. We're gonna flip the meat over. So we're gonna add some salt, ground black pepper, of course. Usually when I make pork shoulder, I place slits into the meat, and then I take the seasoning and of course stick it into the slits individually. But there's no need to do that, simply because we're gonna be braising our pork, like I said, and during the finishing process of the braising process, it's still gonna pick up all of those delicious flavors, because it's gonna be cooking in its own juices, plus the gravy that we create for about a good 3 hours or more. I'm also gonna add some smoked paprika, all-purpose seasoning. Make sure this is coated really good, because we want our pork butt to have a lot of flavor. No need to marinate, because I know that's going to be a question. Let's work on getting our Dutch oven nice and hot. If you don't have a Dutch oven, no worries. Make sure you have a heavy duty skillet to get this job done. We're going to take our pork shoulder and we're going to place it skin down. Remember what I said? We want the pork to render and leave us with the natural oil. We're going to sear the pork for about 3 to 5 minutes on each side, or until the pork is nice and seared. Now here's the thing. When it comes to searing the pork shoulder, we want to sear it on all sides, okay? Not just the top, but the bottom, and I like to do the 2 sides as well. This is going to be so much flavor by the time we're done with everything. It's going to be so worth it. We are going to remove our beautifully seared pork shoulder from the pan, and check this out. This is gorgeous, but it's not ready to be eaten just yet. So we are going to introduce our Merlot, all right, which is basically our onions, carrots, and celery. Onions going. Let's add our celery, diced carrots. We're going to allow our veggies to saute for about 5 minutes until slightly softened. I went ahead and lowered the flame, so right now we're cooking on a low medium heat. This is a Dutch oven, so it's going to keep that heat going, the heat intensity going for quite some time. All right, everything seems to be coated in our brown bits. That's perfect. We're going to add our finely chopped garlic, and we're going to allow our garlic to cook for about a minute or until it becomes fragrant. Now, here's the fun part, the part that I like the most. I'm going to go on with some of my agave tequila, which happens to be like a red tequila. And when I tell you, it's so delicious. It brings out the flavor in every single dish, considering the fact that it's also made with pomegranate. So it's like a pomegranate agave tequila. Oh my goodness. If you want to use any red wine that you have on the shelf, or even a red cooking wine, you can definitely add that. If you don't want to add the red wine or any type of wine to this dish, then you can also add more broth. For this recipe, we're using chicken broth. So you're going to include 1 extra cup of chicken broth. Let's go in and deglaze with our red wine. We're going to add about a cup or a little bit more. And that's going to help to remove all of those bits that stuck to the bottom of our pot. We're going to allow the red wine to simmer and reduce by half before adding any additional ingredients. I'm going to add a basil infused tomato paste, but any tomato paste will work perfectly fine. Add about 2 tablespoons. We're going to incorporate it. The aroma coming from this pan right now it smells so good, and we haven't even added all of our ingredients yet. Now here's the thing, I'm gonna go in with some San Marzano tomatoes. These are plum tomatoes. However, the recipe that I'm creating calls for crushed tomatoes, but nevertheless, we're gonna add our plummy tomatoes to this mix. Gonna add a little water in a second to get all of the remaining out of the can, of course. I'm gonna go in with my chopper and we're gonna slightly break up the tomatoes. All right, use what you have and let's make the best of it. Okay, perfect. I don't want to break it up too much because once everything is cooked down, I want to see those, you know, those little bits of tomatoes, and I also want to taste them as well. We're going to combine our tomatoes. Sauce is looking rich in color. We're going to add our chicken broth. If you don't have chicken broth on hand, you can honestly use some chicken bouillon, not too much because it's very salty, along with water. Stir it up really well, make sure it's perfectly combined, and add it to the mix. Let's add our dried oregano along with our dried thyme. Red chili flakes for that little extra oomph of flavor, and 2 bay leaves along with our beautifully seared pork shoulder. Resting juices, of course. Take some of our veggies and place it on the top. Check out those tomatoes, gorgeous. We're gonna cover it down, place it into our 375-degree oven for about 3.5 to 4 hours, or until you're able to pull the meat apart with your fork. I want that meat to become perfectly tender. Now here's the thing, during the braising process, if by any chance all of the liquid has dried out of the pan and your meat is not pull apart tender, you get what I'm saying? Then you're gonna add some more liquid, whether it be water, chicken broth, or even a little bit more. No, I'm just playing. But water or chicken broth would definitely get the job done. And continue to cover it down, place it into the oven until it becomes really, really tender. Can't wait to get down and dirty and start digging in there and separating the meat. Remember what I told you? If you're not able to separate it with a fork, then what? Place it back into the oven with some more liquid and allow it to cook until it's tender, just like this, in order to separate it with a fork. That was so easy to do, seriously. I'm gonna combine it with the sauce, and I like the fact that I can still see some of the tomatoes, not to mention our carrots as well, right? Those little chunky bits of carrots. And I think we broke it down enough. By the way, after your ragu is finished cooking, go in and remove the bay leaves because you don't want to serve those things up, okay? You don't want anybody choking on a bay leaf. I'm going to use my spatula to combine the meat with the sauce. This is good. So tasty. I see one more bay leaf and I'm going to go in and extract it. Mix it up really good. You can serve this up with whatever you like, whether it be mashed potatoes and so on and so forth. But I went ahead and decided to pair it with pasta. And the pasta that I used was the ziti rigatoni pasta. And this is going to pair perfectly with our braised pork. I'm just going to combine both the pasta with the pork and just make it one satisfying one-pot meal. All right, mix that up really good as well. Allow the pasta to pick up on all of the beautiful flavors. If you've never tried braised pork ragu, now is your time to give it a try. It's going to be so worth it. Okay, this is beautiful. Woo-wee. All right, I'm going to place it right here. We're going to go in with a little bit of grated Parmesan cheese, or maybe a lot. And I have our basil, which I'm going to chop up. And we're just going to grab our basil and we're going to sprinkle it on top. Have you ever tried something so delicious you just want to scream? That's this moment. All you need is a glass of red wine and you are going to be in heaven. This right here is absolutely delicious. Oh my goodness. Flavored to the T. And it's just so delicious on the palate. My goodness. Yes, the red wine also created a great depth of flavor. And not to mention all of our, oh my goodness, everything that we added in combination is just absolutely out of this world delicious. Give this recipe a try. Let me know what you think. If you need your seasonings, check out cookingwithtammy.shop. And I will definitely catch you in another video.